Tzadik, Simin Reish Pei Hey.
Okay, Reish Pei Hey.
We're going to learn about the dinim of Shnayim Mikra veEchod Targum. Some of us have forgotten about this concept and about the dinim. It's important to make a review. Chazal tell us, Af al pi she'odam shemea kol ha'Torah kula kol ha'Shabbos. It's tzibur. Even though a person hears the entire Torah with the tzibur, with the minyan every Shabbos, chayiv likris la'atzimim b'chol shvua v'shvua, parashas oisa ha'shavua Shnayim Mikra veEchod Targum. A person is mechuyev to read the parasha every week to himself, 2 times the pasuk and 1 time with the Targum Unkelus. Pasuk she'ein bei Targum karei gimel pam. A pasuk which there is no Targum on it, you read the pasuk itself 3 times. Sif beis. Hakoyrei Shnayim Mikra v'yachakach loyiz kol milah milah b'lashon lash and mevin lo yotzeh yidei chevasei makan targum. We're going to see here now the next sif a machlokas. Let's talk it out loud. Can one substitute learning Targum Unkelus for another commentary? The Targum Unkelus is not only a translation, but it's also an interpretation. It doesn't interpret as much as other peirushim, but there is interpretation found in Targum Unkelus. You'll see a lot of times he adds in a word or 2 or 3 extra words beyond the translation. It's there as an interpretation. So can one choose another peirush? Instead, I'll read the pasuk twice, and I'll take another peirush, and that will be my peirush that I'll use. So there's 2 opinions. One opinion holds that no, you're not allowed to. Why? Because the Targum was zoicha, that it says the Targum Unkelus was given from Har Sinai. The Gemara says. What does it mean Targum Unkelus wrote it? He wrote it down, he was reading Bechadash it, but Be'etzem it was there since from Matan Torah. There's a second opinion. Over here in Shulchan Aruch is the first opinion. The first opinion of Shulchan Aruch says that you're allowed to do Targum Shnayim Mikra with another pirush. It doesn't have to be dafke with Targum Unkelus. As long as it's not just a translation. You're reading 2 times a pasuk and you learn it translated into English or another language, it's not going to be good. But if you learn a commentary on the Torah, that will be okay. And not only that, this opinion holds even better than doing Targum Unkelus, because Targum Unkelus doesn't explain that much. On the other hand, another commentator like Rashi explains much more. So it really serves the purpose much more. So we have a machlokes. The main halacha is, the ikar halacha is that you could be yotzeh with Rashi or another commentary. However, every Yerushalayim should do both. A Yerushalayim should do Shnayim Mikra veEchod Targum and Rashi. Right? If someone doesn't understand Rashi, he could take in a commentary in English and learn it. That's the ikar halacha is yotzeh when you say l'mashal. Those people who are doing daily chitas, the daily chumash and Rashi throughout the week, they learn every week the chumash and Rashi. They have 1 time the Mikra and they have Rashi. They have to just be mashal 1 time.
So when they get
the chumash.
When they go to shul,
okay, you'll see. Not Tchila, you also not to be yotzeh that. Tchila also you not to be yotzeh. The Yemenites actually do the Targum in the shul during the minyan.
But they don't read the Targum Unkelus. They read what Sadi Gaon made an Arabic translation of the Torah. It's called the Taj. So they read.
What is it called?
What is it called?
The Taj. So
T-H-J, Taj.
Taj, yeah.
Like Taj Mahal?
Yeah. So the Torah, he reads the Torah through the Sefer Torah, and the Targum, he reads the Taj.
And how many psukim does he read for the Targum?
Only 1.
1 at a time?
I mean, that's going to be from the Sefer Torah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you don't understand what it is.
Well, they do. They do probably. They don't understand the Taj?
You can't understand what you're saying. What they're saying.
How do you know? You listen to the
I was by Chaz and I heard them make a bracha.
Oh, you say, but they do. They do.
Well, I know this. I heard them make a bracha by Chaz, and it's like they don't say a patach like Svardi. They say comments like us, but they got the tzaddik is like I said. They say miswa, miswa. That was not miswa. I said the guy said a bracha by Chaz, and it was like one of the girls that came in his house.
Let's take a look inside. Sif Beis.
But you're right. Maybe
Sif Beis. HaKodesh Shnayim Mikra veEchod loyis komilu milu b'loshen lash and mevin yotzeh chivasi bakum Targum. Someone who reads 2 times the pasuk and afterwards translates each word into the language that he understands, he isn't yotzeh instead of Targum, because a translation is not not a commentary. Laz stands for the Rosh Hashanah Loshen Amzu, the language of this nation that you find yourself in.
But that's not correct exactly. It's from the Tanakh already. It's like you say in Havel, but it's called the soup. What Amzar,
Amloin.
Yeah.
Well, that could be where the word is based on, the word.
No, that's the Lo'ed, laws comes from. It's not that Rosh Hashanah, it's an actual word.
Oh.
No, not in this sense, but you're right that there was loazim, there's such a word, the loazim, but maybe that's why it's put in Rosh Hashanah actually, but Rosh Hashanah means Loshen Amzu. Maybe the reason why they're actually put in Rosh Hashanah is
Maybe it's Amzar, like a not Yin, Amzar, is that right? No?
it's the Loshen of the language.
Zoom meaning what where you are.
Yeah.
Okay, the locality. Okay.
Why you're not yotzeh? Targum mefarish kama dvarim she'ein lahavim metoich hamikra. The Targum explains many things that one cannot understand from reading the pasuk itself. Aval hakoira, someone who reads peirush haTorah in a comment to the Torah shemefarish kamila v'mila yotzeh peirush Targum, interprets more than the Targum. Yesh oimim sheyotzeh toimei Targum. Some say it's better than the Targum. Ve'chein is so to HaKodesh Beis Pam Mikra. Someone reads 2 times the Mikra. V'pam Gimel the 3rd time. Choiz v'lei mekol ha'peirushim peirush Rashi. Shubani Yisei the Talmud. Rashi is based on the Gemara. How does it moil yotzeh my Targum shemefarish yotzeh? It helps even more than the Targum Unkelus because it explains even more. That's the first opinion. Second opinion, v'yesh shoimrim, the top of Reish Tzadik Aleph. Targum Zocham V'Shenitin B'Sinai. Targum was Zoicha that is already around from Har Sinai. Going, we see in the Torah itself use the words Yigar Sadus to describe the Gal Eid, the pile of stones that Lavan made between Lavan and Yaakov. Ve'ikar halacha kisvar rishoina. Ve'ikar halacha is like the first opinion that you yotzeh by reading another pirush. Mikol Mokin, Kol Yerushalayim, Yishalikas HaTargum, V'gam Pirush Rashi. Umisha Einim Evin Pirush Rashi, someone doesn't understand Rashi because it's a Lashon Kodesh. Yishalikas Pirush HaTorah, Shabbat La Shem Evin. He can read the Pirush, another comment in the Torah in the language he understands. It doesn't have to be the Africa be in Hebrew. You can read an art school interpretation. You can read a Gutnik Chumash interpretation. So you can read another interpretation which interprets the Torah. So that's why you see that the Olam does Shnayim Mikra Targum till today, because to be yotzeh the Yiddish Shemayim. But the mice is someone's taka learning Chumash Rashi. He already has Rashi. Those who do Chitas the whole week, and you're learning this, you have the Yiddish Shemayim again. So you have a whole week of Chitas, Chumash Rashi. And then you read the Shnayim Mikra.
I don't know if you were reading or you saw, it says Yigar, or like for instance, behind Yigar Sadus, I think they say another thing. It says Va'asa Merivos Kodesh, and Va'asa is not
Targum word.
It's a Targum word. It's a common. Okay.
Not necessarily, because it's found elsewhere in the also.
What?
It's found elsewhere in the also. It could just be Hebrew.
No, but I mean the fact that it's found elsewhere, how does that machmir that it's Lashon Kodesh? If it's Aramaic, it could be here Aramaic. Could be there, the Neil, the
How do you know it's? You're the one that's how us to prove it's Aramaic. I don't
Well,
know
the Neil is also around there.
No, okay, that's different because that's totally Aramaic. But
Yeah.
in Shayahu, there's a pasuk that Bo et Tayu.
What's it called?
There's a pasuk in Yeshayahu that says Bo et Tayu.
How's the word Tayu spelled?
Aleph Tav Yud Vav. It means to come.
Okay, so
So-
that's why God doesn't mention it. He said it. He just says you got to do
Well, there is on Rashi al Torah. There's many times that Rashi himself says this is a Targum. This is a word of Targum. You have other
French
words.
or German, you mean?
Kamashi said,
No.
Oh, you mean
Gar Sadusa.
No, but he
No, Mashal Rashi explains that
Right.
Taitafais means
Tad Pan.
Tat Pas, which
Okay.
is in Afriki and other languages.
No, but what I'm saying, what you just said, that Rashi says Targum Lashon, you don't mean Aramaic. You mean in what he brings Balaz, in French, Russian.
No, I'm saying Rashi
What
says
did
about
he-
the words Yigar Sadusa. That
So
it's-
what did he say? You mean he says that this is Targum
Word of
Lashon?
Targum.
Well, actually, the Torah itself says that. That Yaakov called it this and Lavan called it that. So
Very
it's just
good.
a
This is the
translation.
pasuk itself.
But when Rashi says that it's something that this word is in Aramaic or it's in French, he's just like comparing.
Yeah.
Like today, you have these people who are experts in Semitic languages, so they try to show how certain obscure Hebrew words, what they really mean, so they compare it to
Yeah.
other Semitic languages.
Yeah. No, Rashi just bringing French because Rashi was in France.
Oh, okay, I shouldn't have said French, but like
I
Rambam, it
grew
was
that
Arabic.
because I wasn't
And-
sure
and
what
Rashi,
Rashi
these
most of the
modern
Rambam's
people-
Sfarim are in Arabic, besides
Yeah,
the
okay,
Mishnah Torah.
Okay, but Arabic is like a sister language.
The Rambam wrote the first art scroll printing press. He published his peirushim Mishnayis in Arabic. He published his Sefer Mitzvahs in Arabic. His letters were in Arabic.
Everything
He
is-
published his Bar Nevuchim except for his Mishnah Torah. Everything's Arabic. V'yesh noyagin. Some say, now there's different ways how you should read the Shnayim Mikra. Some say you should read every pasuk twice in the Targum. Some say no, every parsha could be read 2 times and then you go back to the Targum. Meaning, parsha we don't hear mean parsha Hashem. What we mean, parsha pesucha or stuma. We have the pei and the samach of the Torah. Those pesukim. Yesh noyagin sif gimel likri is called parsha bein pesucha bein setuma bein spamim. ואחר כך התרגום עולה מיד, קודם שכפרקה שנייה, וכן בכל פרשה. יש נוהגים לקרוא כל פסוק בייס פעמים, every pasuk you stop, you read it twice, והתרגום עולה מיד, ומניג זה נוחן יויסר. He doesn't say the first one's incorrect, he just says the second one is a better, meaning the two minhagim. There were 2 minhagim, the second minig is the more appropriate minig. Why? Because like you just told us, that's the way they would read Targum when all of Klal Yisrael was reading Targum by the Sefer Torah like the Yemenites do. We're reading Targum, so the Targum was translating each pasuk for itself. Min hadin, you don't have to do like any of these minhagim. Even not like the first minute, you read it any way you want. You can read the whole parsha twice, Mikra, and then go back Targum. Any way you get it done, you can do it yotzeh minute. He's just bringing down 2 minhagim. What minig is yotzeh enough? Pasuk acher, the last pasuk of the Torah, toiv l'koifloi v'lachs l'oimer t'sayim b'Torah. Some people finish off the last pasuk of the Torah. They don't want to finish off with the Targum, so they reread the last pasuk again. So they finish off with Divrei Torah and not with the Targum. That's what they would do when they would do Targum, when they would do a bit sibur by the Kriyas HaTorah. But Maisa, there's different minhagim. Some do this and some don't do this. Therefore, you'll find some of these svarim that they have to make Shnayim Mikra Targum easier. Some of them write the pasuk at the ending again.
the last one.
The last one, and some don't. Because there is a minig, some of the minig was not.
In other words, that's the way it is. One time the
Yeah.
2 times the Chumash and 1 time Unkelus, and that's it.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, somebody told me the pasuk, the Torah starts be'ele shmos.
לשמוס, בחייו אדם לומר, שניים מיקרו veEchod.
Yeah.
Never forget.
The Rosh Tevis, ve'ela shmois, b'nei Yisrael, is v'chayav adam likreis ha'torah Shnayim Mikra veEchod Targum. There's another Rosh Tevis the Pri Megadim brings on these words, similar on these psukim, but it's different, not exactly the same, but also about the Ma'il of Shnayim Mikra veEchod. Now, Siv Dal, Mishu Ragil Piski Taim and Baal Peh, someone who knows Tra Baal Peh, Toiv Shiyik Shnayim Mikra b'Sefer Torah Kasha Vav Shabbos. You should read it from a Sefer Torah Kasha.
Who's going to do the Targum?
The Minig of the Arizal was that way. The Minig Arizal, what did he do with the Targum? He had a Talmud that would read him the Targum, and he would either listen or repeat after.
Oh, that's hard.
But the Minig is not that way. The Minig is not to read from a Sefer Torah. We don't see everyone coming to shul, take out a Sefer Torah on Shabbos.
Maybe only like special big rabbis.
Even in Chabad, even the Rebbes of Chabad were not noyig that.
They didn't do it.
We're regular Chumash.
Yeah, at the Kotel there are people who do that.
Where?
At the Kotel.
Yeah? People do the Erev Shabbos, you see them?
Not so many, but well.
Listen, it's people that do everything.
But you have to
People
have a
put
guy,
on
or they have someone helping with the Targum, or they have next to them a Targum.
Make it into a regular thing.
In order for them to do it, they would either have to have the Targum right next to them, so they're back and forth,
Unless
or
they
have
know
someone
it
else.
by heart.
Well, you know the Targum by heart already, not if it's a special Yid.
I saw dealing in the Koisel, like I said there. You could read it, they put it in a plastic, and it's in
Yeah?
So when you look right, it's clear, and you have to go like this. The whole day, the whole thing is dealing, like I said there. After is there for sure.
Right.
I'm saying dealing.
Sifei. When is someone supposed to? When is supposed to someone supposed to start doing Shnayim Mikra Targum, and when does he finish it?
So Shulchan Aruch is Wednesday, and then a lot of people start Sunday because if you start Wednesday, it's too hard.
We're going to see the next two sifim. The next two sifim discuss it. Chayiv lahashim parshiyosav imat tzibur. A person is obligated to finish his parashas with the tzibur. What does that mean? Shaliyike b'shua zeh parsha shua acher. Each week, you should read the parsha appropriate for that week. Sif hey. Havamiyoyim rishim ve'elach, from Sunday and on. Nikra imat tzibur is called with the tzibur. Shekar schilu hat tzibur parsha zu b'Shabbos mincha. Since b'Shabbos mincha, they started reading the next parasha. So from Sunday already, you could start reading Shnayim Mikra. Or mitzvah amuvchar, when should you finish it? You could start it then, but when should be the finishing time? Yashim koydum sheyichel b'Shabbos shachris. Before you finish Shabbos shachris, you should try to finish it. You can't see Rabbeinu HaKadosh B'Banim. We find the Medrash says, Tosis brings this Medrash, that Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, commanded his son, Shelo yoichel Shabbos shachris, kodesh shlima parsha mikra. Don't sit down to your meal till you've finished. Shnayim Mikra. V'im lo hishlam koydem achila, you didn't finish before you ate. Chayav lo hashlim acher achila. So the mice is, it's only a mitzvah and a muvchar to finish before you eat. So the Shabbos. Min adin, you can finish it after shachris. Ad mincha. Avo min misham ve'elach ki mish eschilo atzir parasha acheres over zman shel zois. What? Right? It's only mitzvah and mufchar. So someone has guests waiting or his family's waiting for sure, he should not mitzvah them and he should do it later. So the chiyuv is to do it before mincha. From then and on, after mincha, since they started reading the next week's parasha, it's too late. You can't say it's your mashlim, your parasha with the tzibur. The tzibur is already on a new parasha.
Same parasha.
However, there is an opinion which says the Marami Rottenberg, who said B'diavad you can finish it through Tuesday. Like we see, because he's barley and Havdalah. The halacha is by Havdalah, if you're allowed to do Havdalah till Tuesday.
Yeah.
Someone didn't do Havdalah Matzah Shabbos, you can do it.
Can't eat.
Some people have things, yeah. You can.
Well, we discussed that once in a different context. That
Kiddush.
yeah, a whole complicated. I don't know if it was you or Rabbi Marzah.
Rabbi Raza, maybe.
Yeah, it's quite complicated. But in other words, there's the idea that till Tuesday belongs to the last Shabbos.
Right.
And from Wednesday, that's what someone once told me. That's why
Yeah.
in the Shir Shal Yom of Wednesday, it says L'chun Ran and that's
what it says in Svarim.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's interesting. I saw once in the Korban Nisanel, on Parshas on the
Tosafta, what is that?
the Korban Nisanel is on the Rush. Peirushim Nisanel Vail.
Yeah.
One of the big Achronim. And he says, he discusses by the Dinim Havdalah, why is it that you're 3 days before Shabbos considered before Shabbos, from Wednesday on, and after Shabbos is up until Tuesday. He also says it's the same way by Gittin, by the halach is by get. If a get says, if someone says give the get, tells a shliach to give the get before Shabbos, what does it mean before Shabbos from Wednesday and on? What does it mean after Shabbos to Tuesday? So it has a lot of hashlachis. What does the terminology mean before or after Shabbos? He explains al pi Kabbalah that the concept of why it's 3 days before and after is because it goes like this. Neshama has, the way he explains it, 3 parts to it. We know there's other midrashim say there's 5 parts, but there's 3 lower level parts in the neshama. 3 parts of the neshama that come into the body. There's 2 parts that remain up on high. The 3 parts that come into the body are nefesh, ruach, and neshama. The 2 other parts, Chai Yichid, he doesn't discuss them at all, but Chai Yichid, the 7 Chassidus, are parts of the neshama that are not able to come into the body. It's one long string up there. But Maaseh, the levels of nefesh and neshama Chai, every Shabbos you get a neshama yisera, extra neshama for Shabbos. The neshama yisera starts to come in on Wednesday. On Wednesday it comes in the nefesh.
Oh wow.
On Thursday it comes in the ruach. And on Friday it comes in the neshama, and it complete is coming in when it comes in Shabbos. Now you completely have the neshama yisera. The nefesh, ruach, neshama is all here. When Shabbos leaves, as soon as Shabbos goes, the nefesh departs. Sunday, Matzah Shabbos, Sunday the nefesh departs. Then comes to Monday, the ruach departs. And finally the neshama yisera fully leaves on Tuesday. So he says that what nigla, what we say in Chazal, that before Shabbos and after Shabbos, is also works al pi Kabbalah. It fits with the concept of the neshama yisera. L'maisa, the second opinion here says, it's just like Havdalah, you have tashlumin until Tuesday. You have tashlumin for this, meaning even though the tzibur is no longer reading the parsha, so seeming there's no kesher with the parsha anymore. That's true. The second opinion says that the reading of Shnayim Mikra Targum is connected to the Shabbos. It's not only connected to the Kriyas HaTorah. So even though indeed the tzibur started to read a new Kriya, but it's connected to the Shabbos. And the Shabbos, the light of Shabbos stays on until Tuesday. So you can make Havdalah till Tuesday. You can say Shnayim Mikra Targum till Tuesday night. veEchod, there's even another opinion which says Shebediyeved yochol gamkin lashlim et simchas Torah. The top of Reish Tzadik Beis. One can finish up until simchas Torah. Why? She'al mashlimin at tzibur kol Torah. Since when do you finish the entire Torah? Simchas Torah, when you finish the Zoyis HaBracha. So that's the last chance. Meaning every Shabbos connected with that parsha of the week, but overall the entire year you're reading the Torah. So I can make up reading the Torah what I missed, the Shnayim Mikra, up until Simchas Torah. That's why our minig is, we'll see about it later, I think. We're going to see about it later, that the Zoyis HaBracha, the Shnayim Mikra of Zoyis HaBracha we do on Shmini Atzeres or on Simchas Torah. Before you read Parashas Bereishis. Before you read Parashas Bereishis before you finish the Torah, if you want to read the Shnayim Mikra for Zoyis HaBracha, Simchas Torah is not on Shabbos. So you want to read the Zoyis HaBracha, you read it on Yom Tov. Because we read that parasha on a Yom Tov. So you have to finish it in Shmini Atzeres, so on Simchas Torah, before you read Parashas Bereishis. What's the halacha like? You have 3 opinions here. One says you can only read it until Mincha. Other opinion says until Tuesday evening, till Shkia Tuesday. Third opinion says till Simchas Torah. Toiv Lachos one should be concerned for the last opinion that you could make it up till Simchas Torah. Shemisha Amar V'Lehishim Mizmani Yasham Tzayfim Gimel V'Lehishim Mishal Hasham at Simchas Torah Shemikra V'Targ V'Lei Ke'oithin She'oyim Mikra V'Vad. One should rely on those that only say Mikra to make up. You should actually do the entire thing, Shnayim Mikra veEchod, and make up whatever you missed. There's a story, I'm not saying this is for every one of our level, we're on this level, but the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, when he was younger, he was a child maybe, he missed the Shnayim Mikra veEchod one week, and later on when it came to some story, he didn't remember which week it was, so he did over the entire Chumash that he forgot, maybe it was Shemais, whatever it was, he knew it was somewhere in those parashas. He did the whole Chumash again, so he should. This is Shana Tzaddik. You wouldn't want to miss the English Shnayim Mikra veEchod.
Some people don't want to stop in the middle. Somebody interrupt them with the passage to go ahead.
So we'll see now in Siv Vav. This is Al Pi Kabbalah. What you're saying now is Al Pi Kabbalah. Al Pi Kabbalah. Yesh noyeg in Siv Vav. Mitama yidu alahem. First of all, according to Al Pi Halacha, Al Pi Nigla, a person could start saying Shnayim Mikra veEchod on Sunday. You could finish it Sunday. There's no problem. You know, right now you want to Shnayim Mikra veEchod, do it for Matas Maseh. However, Al Pi Kabbalah does it mean to do it Erev Shabbos Achar Chatzos. It's actually a machloikis in Kabbalah. Kabbalah have a machloikis about what the Arizal would do. Anyways, machloikis Kabbalah, whether it's better to do it before Chatzos and Erev Shabbos or to do it after Chatzos and Erev Shabbos.
Definitely do it on a Friday.
Yeah. The minig Chabad is that you should do it Erev Shabbos after Chatzos.
They'll substitute them to Friday night.
Friday night?
How much of the parsha are they talking about?
There's an Indian to read the Parsha every week, 2 times the Mikra, the Pasuk, and 1 time with the Targum.
But they would do it every day, not. But on Friday, do the whole thing?
They would do it on Friday. A Pi Kabbalah, they would do it on Pi Kabbalah. You yotzeh the whole week. Some people do it every day. They do the Chumash every week with the Rashi, and they'll do the Mikra. It's no problem, PLA.
But I think the point that they do it at night, I think that the Al Pi Kabbalah is a thing not to learn Mikra at night.
Friday night you're allowed.
Friday night you're allowed.
Yeah.
So I think that it says something to do with that. Maybe, I don't know.
Yesh noigin, here's the second opinion. Yesh noigin ligmar kula be'erev Shabbos achar tefillah. After davening erev Shabbos in the morning shachros, they finish. It's a v'shaloi lahafs klal ben the Shnayim Mikra veEchod tefillah. This is also Pi Kabbalah. The Shalah HaKadosh brings down that there's a minig not to talk at all. Even though again, Al Pi Halacha, there's not a problem to talk in middle. Targum, what happens if someone does not have a Targum currently with him? He only has a Chumash. Yikra Mikra Beis Palmin, read the whole Mikra twice. Ve'achakach, K'shi'ilay Targum, when you have a Targum, you'll read it. Avol min hadin, in tzarech likas kol parasha Shnayim Mikra Targum HaMachas, you don't need to read it in one shot. Afilu parasha achas hayoim, Mikra levad, a parasha acheres l'mocher, v'chein kol yimei hashvua, ve'achakach Mikra l'seidah, you could do whichever way you want. You could read one parasha today, one parasha tomorrow. You don't have to have a seder dafke, and you're allowed to talk in between.
With some people that they after davening the weekday, before they didn't take off the talis until they finished the Chumash and Rashi.
Right. Yeah. Now, based on the Pi Halacha, you're allowed to make a hefsek. Therefore, you have Rabbeim, there are Rebbes and Yeshivas that are teaching Chumash every week with their children in their class. So they are teaching Chumash, they've already done it, right? Fiche Malamdi Tinoikis teaches the children. Shagamor HaParasha Tinoikis, that they have completed the parasha with the children, Pamachas. And in Sichim Laz of Likas Beis Pamim, they don't need to chazer over again 2 times the Mikra, because they already did it 1 time the Mikra.
So though Atzma doing it alone, it's not strictly.
It's a Pi Kabbalah. But a Pi Halacha, your yotzeh, and for sure in this case, when they did it already that way, the yotzeh. A yikru pamachas, it's a minig. The minig, what we mentioned before. Pialach, it's okay. They only need to read it one time. V'atargum, the targum. V'amed dvarim amurim, the second line in Zayin, kishalamdu matanoikis peirushim izvai. That's in a case where they just translated the words for the children. But what happens if they also taught them the meaning of each pasuk? They explained it. Havam lamdu peirushim mikra. They learned the mikra with them. Yotzeh Targum Unkelus. Remember, the first and main opinion in Shnayim Mikra doesn't have to be Targum Unkelus specifically. That's a Yerushalayim. But the Ikra halach is yotzeh, just any peirush. So if they learned the entire parsha, the children explained to the children every parsha, they learned the whole parsha. So all they need to do now is just read the pasuk one time. That's all they're missing. And svichim al-lachsa v'likris mikra pamachas imloi karvnei tenekes beisam. They didn't say over the children Yem Hashem al Moshe Lemer 2 times. They're missing one time.
The malamdim.
Malamdim.
Well, you said you might explain it because I interjected that if you go to shul and you follow along, you got one time mikra right there. But you were saying that it's not so right?
Let's see,
because he doesn't mention it here with the malamid. You see what I'm saying? He's saying he has to say it over. That's why I'm bringing it up now. You know?
Sivches, you're going to see.
Okay.
First of all, Yesh Matirim Lika Shnayim Mikra B'Shas Kriyas. Those that say, if you're reading Shnayim Mikra, you can read it during Kriyas HaTorah, because you're reading Shnayim Mikra. V'Yeshem, others say, Sheyotzeh Dechivas B'Shmias Akim Ashriach Tzibur. That you yotzeh one time the Mikra by hearing the Bal Korah read it. Im Shama Kol HaParsha B'Bir. If you clearly heard the whole parsha, you had a good spot. It's enough then to read it only one more time with the Targum. One should not rely on hearing. The reason why is because when you hear something, you heard every word.
But if you read along with you say each word in the Chumash when they're reading it in the Torah, that's considered that. Well, actually, why not? It's just saying it again. So plus it's one time.
Yeah, we'll see right now. Lamaisi says, Avol Yeshayim. Some say. So up until now, we have an opinion which says that your yotzeh b'diavad by hearing the shliach tzibur, the korakor, the shliach tzibur, reading it one time, it's enough for you one time. But l'chatchila you shouldn't rely on hearing because you might not hear everything clearly. Avol Yeshayim yotzeh klal b'shliach tzibur. Some say no. One has nothing to do with the other. You have two chiyuvim upon yourself. You have a chiyuv to hear Kriyas HaTorah on Shabbos with a minyan, and you have a chiyuv to Shnayim Mikra. You can't do two birds with one stone. So therefore, this opinion says it's not going to help to hear the Bal Korah. The first opinion says l'chatchila not to rely upon it, but with the evidence it's good. The second opinion says even with the evidence it's no good.
Why? Because we have an obligation to do Kriyas HaTorah.
Two separate chiyuvim. Yeah, two separate chiyuvim. So you can't say I heard once and it should be me twice.
Okay, that makes
B'shas etchak, you should smell svar rishonim. B'shas etchak, you go like a b'diavad. You have the first opinion that says the yotzeh b'diavad. B'shas etchak, you don't have time. So you can be yotzeh by hearing the Yigrad doesn't say anything, doesn't comment anything about the first sheet that he brought in Sivches. The first sheet was that there's a yesh matir to read it during Kriyas HaTorah. He doesn't clarify whether we hold like the yesh matir or not. He only goes on to discuss the other two sheets about whether you're allowed to hear from the shliach tzibur. But the yesh matir that you're allowed to read it during Kriyas HaTorah, he doesn't comment on it. He brings this yesh matir.
One time, I don't know if it was you or Rabbi Marisov read us a tshuva, I think from the Rashab, and I think they said it was the only tshuva in halacha that he ever wrote. I don't know. I'm just saying. No.
He read. Rabbi Merazov definitely read it a few years ago.
And it says.
Because I once invited Rabbi Merazov to our kollel, and he gave a beautiful shir on that.
On that tshuva.
Yeah, but Lamaisa, he wrote a lot of other shuvas.
Yeah.
Now today, you have all.
It didn't sound right to me.
Yeah,
But
he
I
has
think
his shuvas published in a separate sefer called peirushim. It was spread around as all his igris, but they took out all the halacha shuvas. And when he has a lot of mainly shuvas about hilchos nida mikvos. Yeah, he was very into mikvos. Built the famous mikveh bar gabi bar.
But he says you have.
But he had a special shuvah about Kriyas Torah. And if I can look over there, what it says, Lagabi Shnayim Mikra.
She's the one that wrote down not to talk in Tesate and all this, like veEchod. Got a shir over about it.
Yeah, but Raza gave a
I
shit.
only know it from here. That's all. I was from here. I always knew Rabbi Morris.
Yeah.
But no, you know what I told Rabbi Morris of a good number of years ago in the 5 Towns Jewish Times. I had a long article about Shnayim Mikra veEchod. It was really amazing. Like, it was hundreds of footnotes. It really doesn't belong in the newspaper. It was crazy. So I was reading it because my uncle had asked me to get it from whatever it was. So they had there from Shlomo Zalman Alba, who that a man asked him, who asked him, he said, you know, when I learned the Rashi and Chumash, so I don't always get what was bothering Rashi. Why did he say this? Is like sort of a question bothering him. And he says, I know what he said. I know what it says. I'm a yotzeh al derech zeh Shnayim Mikra veEchod. That was his question. So Rabbi Yabach told him yotzeh. Why? From a reason of kal v'chayim. If you read the Unkelus, you read it. You know, how much does he explain? He just translates it that way. You know, there's a few places where he adds a little bit. So Rashi is already more, and yotzeh, with Unkelus yotzeh Shnayim Mikra veEchod. So Rashi's already much more. So just because you didn't get what was bothering him, you got yotzeh. That's I remember they wrote it in the thing. I told it to Rabbi Marisov once because I wanted to make my own peirush. Why some people had a minhag, okay, don't shoot me, but they didn't have lechem mishnah by shalosh shukas. They packed a wash, they made a mitzvah, and it was such a thing. So,
Right.
So I said maybe it's also mitam kal v'chayim because you could be yaitzu on the Zionist. So Mamela, if you made a mitzvah, you also yaitzu even though you didn't have lechem. I'm just, it's my own whatever. I'm not saying it. You know what I mean? I noticed by association, I was thinking the same. Okay.
It's clear in Shulchan Aruch that there was a minhag. There's an opinion that says that you can only have to have one for shalosh shuvas.
Yeah.
But the minhag became like that, even though one should be machmer because the main opinion is that too.
I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just saying, whatever my great-grand, my uncle told me, from the family. So when I read this thing about the Stein, when it said, I was thinking maybe that's not like I don't know.
It says what you said before.
I don't know if I'm right.
Siftes. Ein tzarich likis pashas yontif la'atzmoi be'erev yontif. Erev yontif, you don't need to read erev yontif what you're going to read on yontif. The concept of Shnayim Mikra the Targum only applies to Shabbos. Why not? Because sheikvar kvara or yikre parsha zu b'shabbata. You already read or will read this parsha in its Shabbos, meaning comes to Yom Tov. What are you reading? Psukim from Parshas Re'eh, from Parshas Emor, from Parshas Pinchas. These psukim you're going to read anyways.
It's not a complete parsha.
Now what he says you're going to read this anyways. You're going to have read this anyways in the Chumash. These psukim. Right.
I'm just going to
Mikol Makim be'eres Simchas Torah yikra Parshas Zayis Only one time you should read on a Yom Tov Shnayim Mikra is on erev Simchas Torah. Because Simchas Torah you're going to be reading Zayis HaBracha not on Shabbos. So you should do Shnayim Mikra on Shmini Atzeres. Sha'ach Shavu's Mana. This is the time. If not now, when? In Lo Yachshav Ein L'Sai, right?
The people who read the Simchas Torah peirushim also at night. What did the Shnayim Mikra on
Well, it says to do it erev Simchas Torah. They don't read Shmini Atzeres by night. They read Simchas Torah by night.
How many people do you think actually wind up doing that?
But of Simchas Torah. Here the Alter Rebbe says to do Shnayim Mikra Targum erev Simchas Torah.
Because he knows what's going to happen.
Erev Simchas Torah Shmini Atzeres. So before they even read. They don't read. Do they read Beishas by night? Those that read at night. No, they only read Zayis Bracha. Okay, it's not a problem.
They don't say
Shana Rabba. Now, Ad Kan is Shnayim Mikra.
Somebody came from Israel this week. You have to do Shnayim Mikra Targum. What questions? You already did.
The Chalala Shaila, forget about Shnayim Mikra Targum. What parsha should he hear when he comes here? He came here all along.
He's one behind.
Yeah. They're catching up this week.
We're learning Matis Masi.
And they're learning Matis.
When did they?
They already read Shab. The last Shab, Isur Chag. Their Isur Chag, Pesach, was Shabbos, which is our Achin Shel Pesach. So they read already a Parsha. We're still having Yom Tov Achin Shel Pesach. So we're a Parsha.
The body is finished.
Ramachas has one for
This is the first Shabbos that I saw that. I was in Israel for
As soon as I give Tamos, they read the next few. We were reading Chukas.
Yeah, by Mincha.
Every week?
By Mincha, they lay the whole.
Every week they have a minyan for the Israelis that come to Bar Park. What about Haftorah? Is there an Inyan to read the Haftorah every week? It says in Sif Yud, Haftorah Shekol HaShabbases Ein Tzarech L'Krois Min Adin. Min Adin, Shnayim Mikra Targum is a chiyuv from Chazal, remember. The chiyuv Midrabanan to read Shnayim Mikra, but it's not applied to Haftorah. However, there is a minig to read Haftorah, Al Shanogu L'Kroisan, Kedei Sheibaki Ba, V'yoida Kishem Yikul Maftir HaKnesses. Maybe they're going to call you up to read the Maftir, so you should know. Uvadal Parashis, you should likreis Haftorah Shal Parashis, Shemartino Yisbeis HaKnesses. V'loy Haftorah Shal Parashis Shvo, V'chem Shabbos Chodesh, Shemach Chodesh, Shabbos Chanukah. You should read the parashas you're going to read. If you're going to read one of the Dal Parashas, Parashas Zocher, Shkolim, Zocher, you should read Chodesh, Para, you should read those. There's some kehilas that have a meaning. I don't know. Are there any kehilas that have this meaning? You let me know. That when there's going to be a chasana that week, they read Sois Osis. The Haftarah Sois Osis. It's connected to the Inyan of a marriage. So you should read the Haftarah of Sois Osis. Huh? So it's also our minig is not to read it. We don't have the minig to change for Shabbos Chassan. Avom iru harbi Chassan of Shabbos zu achazu dai meshakara so it's also the Rishoina shliki shar Shabbos is after Yishua. What happens if there's going to be many weddings week after week? So the shul is going to be reading Sois Osis every week for Haftarah. You already prepared Sois Osis the first week, so you don't need to repeat it again. The rest of the weeks, you should read the Haftarah that you would have read. L'maisa, the minig is, minig Chabad at least, is that we read both parshas. For example, this past Shabbos, when it's a Shabbos with Chodesh, we're going to read a special a Shemayim Kisi, or it's Shabbos where Sundays with Chodesh, we say Mocha Chodesh. Our minig is to read both Haftarahs, the one that's connected to the actual parsha, and the one that's connected to Vaysh Chodesh, or Mocha Chodesh, or Chanukah, to always read both. Because there's... No, that's for the actual Haftarah. But for Shnayim Mikra Targum, you read both.
That's why
the Mashal, this past parsha, we start reading the Talasa and the Puranusa, the three Haftarahs that discuss the warnings, the V'im and V'miyot, Megabe, what's going to happen to Chorban. So this Shabbos is also the Haftarah regarding that's connected to Pinchas. So read the parasha Haftarah of Pinchas and the Haftarah of Talas and Paranusa. That's the minig Chabad. But remember, Haftarah B'chlal is a minig. Shnayim Mikra Targum itself is a chiyuv. So someone, at the very least, should know he has to read 2 times the Mikra, and either read Pirush Rashi or read a commentary in English that goes to the whole parasha. That way you yotzeh me'ikar devi. You have to read the pasuk twice. And Yerushalayim should do both. Should be Shnayim Mikra veEchod Targum Unkelus. And besides for that, you should go through the parsha with a commentary such as Rashi or Ramban or someone else, go through the entire parsha explaining. So those who do Chita, Shnayim Mikra have both milas of the yotzeh the Yiddish Shemayim.
You see the Chita star already.
No, what if someone, for example, does the chitas and does the Targum with the chitas, and then he reads the Chumash again by Kriya?
Minadin yotzeh. Minadin yotzeh. The best optimal minig is to do it Erev Shabbos HaChatzos. If someone who says after Chatzos, has all the children running around, whatever, he's not going to do it. Do it another time, yeah. If you can, then you can.
I think they used to do it on Friday night before you start the meal. Come home, sit down at the table doors, and then start the meal.
Or you could do it before you sit to go to the Suda. Different people, different times, whenever people could do it. Not everyone has the Menuchas HaNefesh. And remember, if you can't do it after Chatzos, if you have Menuchas HaNefesh in the morning, certain Mukabbalim say that you should do it after Shabbos HaChashachris and Erev Shabbos. So you have many different zmanim. Al kol panim mitzvah muvchar is to make sure it's done before you sit down the Suda Shabbos, but you have it till Mincha. And then you have it till Tuesday, and you have it till Simchas Torah.